Honorable Don Long is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Even without the exact figures on the total area planted with coconut trees in the BARM, a mere visual of our topography and satellite image of the region readily show a large area planted with coconut trees. Nationally, it is the third most dominant crop next to rice and corn. Yet the majority of the coconut farmers still belong to the poorest of the poor. Several factors have drastically affected the yield of the coconut farmers. In the Philippines, the average yield remained 40 to 45 nuts per tree annually, while countries like Brazil and India have an average record of 200 to 300 nuts. Despite the ailing situation of our coconut industry, there are still high hopes that with little investment and scientific research and development, we can be able to revive the coconut industry. Secretary Dar even declared that it could be the sleeping giant. In February of 2021, RA 11524 became a law intended to increase the incomes for coconut farmers, alleviate poverty, and achieve social equality. Under this law, a total of 75 billion for 5 years will be transferred to the Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund that will be accessible to the registered coconut farmers and coconut farmers organizations. Other coconut levy funds will be included in this trust fund. However, the utilization thereof must be according to the Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan, which is limited to the coconut farmers included in the Coconut Farmers Registry. The period of registration has already expired in June 2021. This resolution is intended to determine from the MAFAR if the coconut farmers in the Bangsamoro region were able to register, how many of them were registered, or why there are no or only a few registrars registered in the region. The signing of this law by President Duterte is a legacy. It will pave the way for the efficient use of the multi-billion coconut levy to uplift the livelihood of millions of farmers and sustain development. With 75 billion for 5 years, it's a game changer. It ushers a new policy that will bring big reforms to the coconut industry, of which so many of us are the children of coconut farmers. The tens of thousands of coconut farmers in the BARM are unfortunately not included. If this parliament will not act and will not request for the registration or the appeal for the extension of the registration, we are not part of the 75 billion to help our farmers from the coconut levy. The purpose of that is to increase productivity, alleviate poverty, and modernize the coconut industry. But again, unfortunately, the Bangsamoro farmers will not be able to avail of this trust fund because we have not registered our farmers. Senator Pangilinan and Risa Hontiveros has expressed concerns about the deadline and the lack of registration. And that's why I will be requesting for an omnibus motion later to just approve this resolution by the body so that the MAFAR can immediately act on this and this resolution also be forwarded to the concerned parties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Majority Leader.
Majority.
Yes.